Yo, welcome everybody back to the JV Sports Room. As usual, your host, JDino, the other half of the team behind the scenes, my man Vince.
Yeah.
Got a little change in the lineup today, so over in the Kobe corner, holding it down, Big J.
Got you, baby. We here. Kobe. Mamba. We out here.
And from one of the original episodes, big time Carolina Panthers fan. Got welcome back to the show, my man Rudy.
What's up, man? What's up?
Rudy.
And we got another person from that division in the house as well. Big time Tampa Bay fan. Welcome to the show, my man GRIZZ.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, man. Obviously, we got a Panthers fan in the building.
Mm-hmm.
We got a BUCS fan in the building. Last week, we spoke about the AFC South, so we're going to keep it in the South and talk about the NFC South this week.
Yeah.
All right, we might as well start it off at the top, just like we did last week. So we'll start it off with these Tampa Bay BUCS.
That's it, man. This is the year.
I like it. I like the Tampa Bay hat. But can we get him some JV merch, man? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the team.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a long time coming. I see these guys every day. And I'm still going to have to put that there to support my voice. Because, that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
My outlook now is definitely better than it was 30 days ago. So anytime you bring a GOAT back, you're automatically relevant. So,
and that's about all it takes.
I got my buddy here cheering for the Panthers, but he knows the division comes through.
I was waiting for him. I was waiting for him to unretire when he retired. I knew it was coming.
Everybody knew that was coming, right? But you guys also re-signed Godwin. You re-signed Leonard Fournette. Yep. You bring in Russell Gage. You lose O.J. Howard. Lose Bruce Arians as well as the coach.
That's a good loss.
Exactly. Speak on it then.
For his health.
Nah, Left is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, you got Todd Bowles.
Bowles is the head coach, but Left is now he got more.
He's got more freedom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But BA's been everywhere he goes. He's got a record behind him, and like he always says, is he'll cheer with you and he'll chew your ass out. Yep. So either way, you know what you're going to get, and Brady was no exception to that. Timing on it, everybody's got their theory, but. It's strange to say the least to drop out a month before the draft. So there's smoke, there's fire, but we'll never know.
I've been saying I think he's still going to be involved, Bruce Arians, and the team's in good hands. I think Todd Bowles is a respectable coach. He's got his track record, and he's a defensive minded coach, and that's where you guys are needed the most help is on that defense.
For sure.
I think the big addition that you guys got back, yes, you lost Alex Kappa, but bringing Brian Jensen back, the center, to hold down that offensive line for Brady, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, this division runs through Tampa.
Without injury, if they just perform like they should, it shouldn't be. Nothing's easy in the NFL. Anybody can win any given week. But when you got Brady, you got Rodgers, you got Mahomes, those teams should walk straight into the playoffs. The question for the BUCS is, can they be the 1 seed? Because if we're the 1 seed, it's a lot better chance coming through Tampa. I don't want to have to go to LA again because LA doesn't travel, and we seen what happened last year.
Right.
That game wasn't as close as the score was.
And obviously, there's only 1 seed that gets to bye nowadays, so that automatically gives you guys, a walk through the first round as well.
All y'all needed was another receiver that game.
Yeah, we needed a secondary.
That's all you needed.
There's this guy, his name's Cooper Kupp. I don't know if you ever heard of him before. My fantasy team loves him.
That was
how you let that guy just run loose the whole game, and hey.
Forget all
good
game.
For them,
the last play.
Yeah.
You could have let him do that all. You could have let him do that all game.
That last drive.
But when you need to be locked in right there, you got to be locked in.
Yeah.
And that goes into this draft, heading into this draft. Like, what are the big needs as far as the Buccaneers?
Secondary.
I think it's got to be that secondary.
We bring over Logan Ryan. He is what he is. He's got a history with Brady. We bring over Shaq. He has a history with Brady. That's what Brady does. Brady brings all his guys in. No matter where he's at, no matter what team he's on, guys want to play with him because they know you're automatically relevant.
Exactly.
They know they'll take less to win more. That's what Brady's done his whole career. What else are you going to do?
You got to shoot Aaron Rodgers a text.
Well, look at Rodgers. Why did Adams leave?
That's why he never going to win another ring.
He
never going to get another one.
Unfortunately for Rodgers, he just lost his biggest weapon. But as far as Brady, he's back. The GOAT's back in the saddle. Tampa's back on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys need? What are your needs in this draft, coming into this draft?
I mean, secondary has to be, it has to be your number one. Secondary or offensive line. You protect the franchise, which the franchise is Brady. If you protect Brady, he's got to be healthy. If he's not healthy, we got nothing. Nobody wants to go see what Kyle Trask can do. And
you drafted him.
Yeah. Second line, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, but in reality, if Trask's under center, the season's done. You know, there's no other way that's going to work.
Yeah, with that 27th pick, I mean, this draft is very deep with secondary. It's a good draft to get one. So if you can get like a Andrew Booth, a Clemson cornerback, somebody like in that realm around that pick, I think that'll be a great addition to add to Carlton Davis and Logan Ryan, like you said. Just keep adding to, like you said, protect Brady and add to that defense. You guys were one of the best running defenses in the league, stopping the run, but.
And I don't think that's going to change. We haven't lost any of the big guys up front.
Yeah, Devin Bush.
So they're all still there. The rookie we drafted last year out of Washington, that guy is, I think, Joe.
Tryon.
He's a beast. He was a beast in college, and you could see flashes.
You guys used him at a whole different position too. That was weird because he was a middle linebacker, right?
Yeah.
And now he's rushing off the edge. That's crazy.
But you know, and that takes time. It takes time. Anybody you draft,
shows his talent though.
That's what that
shows his talent and versatility.
And you got him. Sue should be back. I mean, all signs point to him. There's a reason you can't run against Tampa. Right. Those guys are huge and they're athletic.
You still got Villa, right?
Yeah. You know, same thing. Just got to stay healthy. You got to stay with it. But no matter how good you are up front, if they just throw it over the top, it's useless.
Now, we mentioned bringing Leonard Fournette back. A position that they could address as well is the running back position. You know, you got Leonard Fournette, but we saw Ronald Jones leave. You still have Giovanni Bernard, and Keyshawn Vaughn is still flirting around there. But maybe somewhere in that second to third round, if you can end up getting a James Cook. You know, Brady's missing that James White level running back.
Change of pace,
pass catching running back that we've seen him utilize with Danny Woodhead and, you know, Shane Vereen and these guys. Yeah, I think that'll be a great addition in the draft to give him, you know, we saw Giovanni Bernard, like you said, maybe played 4 games for you guys.
I think James stay healthy. That's
been his whole career. That's why he's out of Cincy. I mean, that was the same role he had there.
I think James Cook will give you guys that weapon that Brady loves. And could take you guys to that next level to compete with the
because Cook's almost as dangerous out of the backfield as he is handing the ball off.
That's right.
That's the perfect option for us.
If he was a little bit bigger, he probably would be an earlier draft pick and somebody's workhorse back. But he's just a little bit small.
Man, you can get somebody. I'm not gonna lie. At 27, running back's not gonna get touched in this first round. Probably barely at all. You could probably get the best one.
Yeah. I mean,
who's that? Who's the kid?
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall. He's from Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
So, but really, I mean, I can't see them taking him back. First round, second round.
Right.
Third round.
Not if you sign Leonard Fournette. I mean, if you didn't sign Leonard, if you just were left with Keyshawn Vaughn, then I would see that. But you sign Leonard Fournette, give him the 3-year deal. I say keep loading up on other positions, but in those middle rounds, second, third, fourth round,
so what you think?
James Cook is
there.
You
think a corner? You want a corner first round?
Corner or safety? I mean, really, ideally, what I want, Honey Badger's still floating out there.
Oh, hold on.
Whether or not financially, him and Bowles have a history.
He's coming to Philly.
They're tight. They're not, he ain't going.
He's coming to Philly.
He's exploring his options right now. I done seen that. I done seen him at a bunch of facilities.
So he's been everywhere. And there's a reason why everybody wants him. Why KC let him go? I couldn't tell you that.
Because they don't want to pay him.
Yeah. But I guess when you give Mahomes the bank, you got to make cuts.
Hey, but you know what?
Lost Tyreek the same way. Speaking of contributing early, you guys in Carolina got the number 6 pick.
Trade it. Load up.
What are you guys looking to get? Let's switch over to Carolina Panthers. How do you feel about your Carolina Panthers? What are their strengths, weaknesses, and what do you think you guys are going to look for with the number 6 pick?
I think I'm not gonna lie. The biggest weakness is the offensive line. Yeah. I feel like Cam and Sam Darnold looked good at times last year when the line was blocking. When it's not, it's over with.
I mean, that's football.
But you thought the Bengals' offensive line was bad? Carolina's was horrible. Joe Burrow's not mobile at all and still had more time to throw the ball than any of our quarterbacks. We tried 3 quarterbacks last year. It didn't even matter.
And it looks like you guys will probably be trying the 4th. Who you guys looking to target with the number 6 pick?
They like both guys. They like both guys, man. That's why it's hard. It's hard to pinpoint. They like both guys. The owner wants Pickett.
Right.
The GM Fitterer wants Willis. You could tell by how they're talking. Because the GM Fitterer keeps talking about you got to swing the bat sometimes and go for a big swing on these guys. The quarterbacks are hard to find. And you see Matt Rule hang around Kenny Pickett a lot, and the owner went to Pittsburgh. So I think there's some
connection.
I think there's some in-house. For me, I want offensive line. I don't even care. I don't think Sam Darnold's trash. I don't think he's garbage. Because his good, when you look at the games, he played good. Go look at the 3 games, the first 3 games of the season. But his good looked real good. Like the first 3 games of the season, it made you look like, dang, that's the third overall pick right there.
Yeah. Right.
So I want to see what it's going to look like with the offensive line first.
I agree.
We're at 6, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We can mess around and get Neal, the kid from NC State, or the kid Mississippi
let's
State.
Be fair. Offensive line.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. It's not sexy though.
Right.
Everybody wants a sexy pick. Right. Well,
but you
don't need that to win.
We need a left tackle. We haven't had a left tackle since Jordan Gross.
Right. You got to protect the guy.
Let me paint this picture for you. Let's go back in the time machine a little bit. You said your biggest downfall was your offensive line. I think it's the organization, people behind the scenes, because if you go back to last year's draft, right? Mm-hmm. You guys
it was a good draft.
Yes, you took J.C. Horn, which was a great pick, but you guys passed up on. We'll see where you guys feel about him, but Justin Fields was sitting right there in the palm of your hands. You could have drafted your young quarterback for the future, Justin Fields, and you wouldn't be in this predicament right now. The turmoil is with the organization. You bring in a hotshot head coach, Matt Rule, who really hasn't done anything. He hires Joe Brady. He doesn't do anything. And now you're going back to, I think it's actually an upgrade. It's Ben McAdoo as your offensive coordinator.
I think so, but when has his offense ever been good in New York? That's what I keep thinking about.
I just think him as a head coach was...
you know what I think that is, though?
But he was in Green Bay. He was decent.
I think they got Matt Rule's successor in-house already. I think that's what that move was.
With McAdoo?
Yes. With McAdoo. I don't know why.
You want him to be your head coach?
I think Rule's out of there. I think even if they have a decent...
You just said, what did he do in New York?
Hey, but you know what? They tied to the college guy. I can tell already.
We got a Giants fan here. Let's have him tell us what he did.
Hey, not a whole lot, obviously. But you actually mentioned Cam, and it's funny because Malik Willis actually gives me a lot of Cam vibes. Does he not? Right?
Yeah.
Shorter. That's
big kid.
It's a shorter version.
Yeah. Big kid. Stout.
Big arm.
Big arm.
Big arm. You see him at the pro day.
Man. Now they got everybody doing the Zach Wilson throw.
He's big. He's got a big arm, and he likes to run. Except he's more of a natural running back than Cam was, right? So, how do you feel about Malik Willis? Does he give you Cam vibes?
Yeah, he got good leadership too. That's what I noticed too. Like he can lead.
That's the kicker. I think he gives you Cam, but without the antics. I don't see. I mean, he's still young, and maybe once he gets in the league, get a little money in his pocket, the antics will come. But
Cam's kind of a me guy,
right?
He's always been, the whole. He's Superman, and that's not always the best. I mean, guys love to play with him. Even at Auburn, guys love playing for them. But you got to have that guy that can lead you on the field and off the field. And I think Willis. I really think he's going to be. He's the guy you want in the draft. If I'm taking a quarterback.
Yeah. If we go quarterback, go Willis. If we go offensive line, go Neal. And if we trade back, accumulate.
Yeah, I think the lack of competition in college is his knock. Coming from Liberty.
He started at Auburn though. His Auburn tape ain't too bad. Right. It ain't too bad. He didn't get a chance. I don't think he got a fair shake at Auburn.
Right. That's what it was. I think if he had that, that tape, and I think he'll be the lockdown, hands down, number one quarterback in his class. But I just, coming from, Liberty, small school, really don't know what he's about, but definitely has the highest ceiling of all the quarterbacks in this class. I think
definitely the most potential.
I think Malik Willis has the highest ceiling for sure.
Hey man, talking to y'all got me thinking they're going to do it. They're going to pull the trigger now.
And that's why I mentioned.
Now I'm like, then they're going to pull that trigger.
And that's why I mentioned the Justin Fields. You guys wouldn't be in the situation because you would already have a guy. But
I mean, who knows who's
hindsight's always
20,
right? 2020.
Because if you compare the two, I think Willis got a stronger arm and he's a better runner. And then they both have accuracy questions.
So what if they take Pickett? How you gonna feel?
I wouldn't be mad. Pickett has no cons to his game besides his hand size.
Right.
They haven't. When you look at when they put the pros and the cons on the TV, can you name one con?
But why did it take him so long to? Why did it take him so long to produce? He had to go back 5 year, fifth year, and it wasn't until his last year.
But sometimes it don't matter when it happens. It happened,
and that's true. And that is true.
Maybe
you'd like to see it earlier.
The teams was bad. Maybe he was injured because doesn't he wear a knee brace?
He does.
So he was injured one of those seasons.
He was injured.
Maybe the coaching staff. All I know is he was third in the Heisman in the voting.
Yeah.
Quarterback from Pittsburgh. Yeah. I mean, I know ACC isn't the ACC anymore, but I mean, Pittsburgh winning the ACC.
Yeah. I mean, he had a great year. There's no.
He had a great year. All the pros was like good arm strength, good touch, great accuracy, good movement in the pocket. I mean, they haven't said one negative besides hand size.
Right.
And Joe Burrow got small hands too.
I think that narrative has changed a little bit.
I mean, you put a glove on, you good. You put a glove on, you
Teddy
good.
two gloves.
Teddy two gloves.
But, first you couldn't be under 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Those guys changed the narrative. Outside of Manziel, who was short with small hands, he had the double negative. But you got to get those guys in there. They got to see the field. They got to see the defense.
Look how he plays.
And that's where...
He played great.
We don't know that from watching film. We don't know what's being relayed. In college, they can talk to the quarterback. Head coach straight to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference between the guys? We can't see that. We're not in the draft rooms. We're not on the draft board. We're not telling them to call out the play, telling them to call out the coverages. That's what makes the difference to me. And Mahomes can see that. Josh Allen, the first year, he couldn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everybody was like, Josh Allen the first couple of years, that's all they thought they had out of him. But now he sees the defense. So he can audible out of that play. And you have to make that call on the snap. You can't wait for 30 seconds and have the in college they hold up with the signs and the flash card, the giant flash card. Well, you don't have that in the NFL. Right. So which one of those guys has it mentally? And that's the guy you want, the guy that can see that.
And if that's the case, then it's Pickett. Right now. And I mean, if that's the case,
Pickett had no problem dropping down and running.
No, he can move. He can
definitely move.
They're both decent. They're both pretty decent in my eyes. I feel like I think they're both going to go top 10. Yeah. I think whoever we don't grab, Atlanta or Seattle's going to grab.
I think Seattle. I don't think Atlanta goes quarterback.
They might try.
I don't think they can. I think there's so many other pieces that you got to be 1, 2, 3 pieces away to really invest. Because nowadays, the NFL now, you got to win in that first 5 years.
Exactly.
And Atlanta's not.
Before you got to pay these guys.
Right. And once you got to pay them, it's just a trickle effect. Then you got 2 or 3 years because you're going to start losing this guy, losing this guy, losing this guy. And then, that quarterback just got a $200 million deal. And now you ain't going to give me 10?
Yep. Yep.
It's just human reaction.
You guys obviously have a lot of holes and a lot of ways you could go with that number 6 pick. But most likely it's going to come down to the quarterbacks, I think. But there's also possibility of you guys trading back because there's other teams that are looking for quarterbacks, like Atlanta, which is also in this division. So let's talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses of Atlanta and what they might be looking to do in this draft.
I mean, Atlanta, you're looking at a team that had consistency for years at the quarterback position, but could never really get over that hump. You had that 1 year that, they
should have won the Super Bowl.
But it's got to be offensive line for me. Yes, everybody's going to say, go get a quarterback. Go get a quarterback. I don't agree. Your team is not built for a quarterback right now. You need to continue to add weapons, add offensive linemen. Matt Ryan was sacked over 40 times in the last 4 seasons. You need offensive line help. Go get offensive linemen. Continue to add to that secondary and that defense. You hit on A.J. Terrell a couple years ago, who was the number 2 rated cornerback, according to Pro Football Focus. Wide receiver, offensive line, maybe a running back towards the middle of those, middle rounds. And, the Marcus Mariota experiment. I think you let it ride for a year.
Hey, he made the playoffs before. He's made the playoffs before.
It's number 2 overall.
He's won a playoff game too.
Right. I mean, what do you got to lose for a year?
Exactly. So I'm not gonna lie. When I seen him in free agency, I said Carolina should go sign him real quick just to see what he could do.
He has ties to the head coach Arthur Smith, who was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee when Marcus Mariota was quarterback. So there's some kind of connection there.
They believe in him still.
You ride it out for a year. You continue to add weapons and add to this team.
And they're in a rebuilding stage anyway.
Right. And then in 2023, if Mariota's not the guy, then you draft your quarterback.
Go grab an O-line. Or they could just trade back. Shoot. Trade back too.
Yeah.
Accumulate.
They could do that.
You got to build a foundation.
They could do that.
So any good team, look at Tampa. Brady walked in the door, automatically win a Super Bowl first year. Nobody expected. I didn't expect one.
I knew it.
But we had everything in place. The only thing we were missing in Tampa was a quarterback.
So you should have knew it because y'all were 9-7 with Jameis and throwing 30 picks. As soon as y'all got him, I was like, that's ring.
Yeah.
Because the defense was raw the year before.
I thought year 2. I thought last year was the year.
I thought it was on back-to-back, honestly.
But now tell me this. Week 6, the first year, you didn't say that.
I don't never count him out. I didn't even care. I knew the division was bad. You was going to make the playoffs. And once he's in the playoffs,
it's a whole nother ball.
Yeah, that's all I knew.
But we got embarrassed the first year a couple times. The Saints embarrassed us.
Yeah. The
Twice.
Saints, the the Packers got you guys good too.
And then we got in the playoffs, and then Brady flips a switch, and it's over.
We knew it though.
Mm-hmm.
Brady in the playoffs, man. Like, come on, man.
Right. It actually reminds me of the other team in this division because for some reason they seem to have your number during the regular season as well. Those New Orleans Saints.
They
right?
do. They do.
I think you guys have lost 3 out of the last 4 in the last 2 years of them. But what do the Saints need? Okay, what are some of their strengths and weaknesses?
They need Jameis.
They need Jameis.
To be the 30 interception quarterback.
And they need Michael Thomas back.
For sure.
And they need another wide receiver.
Yeah, you mentioned Jameis Winston. He was 5-2 as a starter last year. Yeah. He was looking good before the injury.
He did.
He looked like maybe the LASIK surgery helped. Come on, man. He looked like the LASIK surgery helped.
He was able to see his teammates and not the other team.
And Jameis,
but I agree. We'll see what happens. It's the Michael Thomas factor. I mean, is he
can be
play?
back. He'll be back.
Not. Okay, I agree. I hope he is back.
Yeah, the injury ain't gonna take that long.
Right.
Yeah.
But we didn't think it would take this long.
Nah, he seen the season was over when he sat it down.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I felt like.
That was probably writing on the wall. But the team here that lost their head coach, now, you add Dennis Allen, who comes over as the defense coordinator. Now he's the current head coach. Sean Payton's out, retired. He'll probably be in Dallas in a couple of years.
He'll be there next
year.
Waiting on.
You lose your starting left tackle in Armstead.
That hurts.
That hurts a lot.
Yeah, he was always hurt.
That's a big guy, though.
But he was always hurt. They played without him a lot.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's got to be an offensive lineman. But in the case of Michael Thomas doesn't return, or even if he does return, you still need another weapon.
I think they need weapons.
You need to add
weapons, man.
One more receiver. They got Callaway. They got Smith. They got the little kid, the little guy. He's going to be decent.
He's a Sproles 2.0.
If they use him the right way.
And I think it was a telling sign that the deal that they made with the Philadelphia Eagles was a kind of a sign that, okay, they want to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone in a sense. The trade was the New Orleans Saints traded pick 18, a 2023 first round pick 101, which is a 3rd round pick, and a 2024 2nd round pick to the Eagles for pick 16, 19, and a 6th round pick. Mm-hmm. So pretty much we swap first, we get a first in 23, but we pick up a 2nd and a 3rd on top. And I think that was their move in order to get in that middle, in those late teens, to get a receiver.
And they might go receiver and O-line. Boom.
Exactly. Boom. 2 birds in 1 stone. You get the offensive lineman, you get the receiver, Chris Olave, maybe Treylon Burks is still there. Maybe you throw the dart on James Williams. Alabama.
This year, they might break that record for wide receivers in the first round. It's 7. It was 7 in Larry Fitzgerald's draft. Yeah. It was 7. I think they might get it this year. Because I'm looking at all the names and you're looking at all the teams on the board. Everybody needs one.
There's a lot of speed, man. And there's a lot of
your Eagles
receivers.
Your Eagles gonna grab one.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna grab that 18th pick. That's the 18th one you guys got left, right?
Yeah. Now we end up with 15 and 18.
If they don't go wide receiver, that means they don't like Jalen Hurts. Because that's all.
That's what we were just talking about. They're definitely going to go wide receiver.
Help him.
Right. But
your number 1 can't be 180 pounds.
My issue is how many years, this would be the 4th year in a row we take wide receiver in the top 2 rounds.
Right. But you got to pick the right one.
That's why I was so adamant.
Smith is a good one. Rager was a damn flop.
Mm-hmm.
Rager over Justin Jefferson was crazy.
Let's not talk. We don't speak of that name.
Yeah, that's
that hits close to the heart. But no, I agree. We probably will end up addressing one. But I love this trade for the Eagles. Not so much for New Orleans, to believe it or not. I mean, there's so many holes. What happens with Alvin Kamara? Is they're gonna end up paying him soon. Who's coming up behind them? Yeah. Is Jameis the guy? Do they address the quarterback?
Right.
Agree.
I mean, with Kamara, could he be suspended? He still got trouble.
We forgot about that.
Yep.
I didn't forget.
I want him to be suspended.
Yeah.
You guys should both want him to be suspended.
I don't.
2 games a year.
See, the thing about with Carolina is though, I know for a fact all we need is a quarterback because our defense is good to hang with any of the teams in the division.
That's a fact.
Like every game we play against every team in the division. Atlanta, we ain't worried about them.
What's your thoughts on McCaffrey?
McCaffrey, keep him till the wheels fall off. He keeps having nagging injuries.
Have they not started falling off?
They've already kind of started falling off.
I think we're seeing the end of days.
He's 25.
Don't matter.
And they've run him like he's 30 already.
He's run himself. Go watch Carolina games, right? When they try to send it back up on the field, what he does every time?
Weighs him off.
Yeah. He needs to sit down some plays. Because it's not like he's having major injuries. He pulled a hammy, tweaked the
soft tissue.
It's little stuff that I rehab from stuff like this all the time.
I agree. If this is not a sign, I'm looking at both of your teams because you both did it without taking a running back in the top 10. You don't do it. You just don't do it.
He's put up good years though, man. He's still young. You can't say that. It's too early to say that. Some guys have had long. There's been running backs who have long careers, but have a couple years as hurt.
Did you get a playoff run?
Huh?
Did you get a playoff run?
They haven't got anything out of him.
But he's not the quarterback. He's not the quarterback.
Did the Giants get a playoff run?
And Saquon hasn't done nearly as much as what McCaffrey's done.
Did Dallas get a playoff run?
Yeah, they ran the wheels off the seat too.
They just lost.
Well, I mean,
they went to the playoffs. They lost.
When I say run, I'm not talking about in the playoffs. I'm talking about a run where you got to go win 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, but that's not up to the running backs. We asking to you.
Right, but you
take them in the first.
You're taking that capital away from your team, and investing in a running back that you can go pick up anywhere. I mean, look at how many dudes been a running back and they were working at UPS and then they come in the league.
All right. Well, speaking of, top 10 and all these draft picks, are there any other picks that you guys specifically like coming into the league this year? Any other wide receivers or running backs that you might want to touch on?
Now, I like offensive linemen, man. I like that kid, Evan Neal, man.
Evan Neal. Freak.
No, man. I watch his tape. He's good.
That's I mean, you look at Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah.
Beast.
That guy is...
Him and Slater, man. And okay, look, that's what we could have did last year too.
Mm-hmm.
We could have. You guys went and signed Sam Darnold. You could have drafted Slater instead of a cornerback. Because Slater went 12-13 to the Chargers.
That game versus LA, we didn't have Wirfs. If he's on that field, we're not getting destroyed like that.
No, I already know.
Because we're getting destroyed from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
When you got him there, you don't worry about that side of the field, and then you put your energy on the other side. So when we won the Super Bowl against Kansas City, they lost their lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Was our defense good? Yes. But that line was messed up and hurt. And that Mahomes is running for his life. He never had a chance in that game.
This draft is loaded with the offensive line, man. Offensive line and wide receivers is loaded.
It is. And I think you guys touched on it. We should see a record-breaking draft this year. A lot of speed in this draft.
Yep.
I seen a bunch of low 4.3s, and it was like 3 wide receivers that ran a 4.2, didn't it?
But do you have to have speed to be good?
In this day's game.
Not necessarily.
What AB
What
run?
for the receivers?
What AB run?
Receivers. AB's fast, though. He's sleepy fast. Like, AB ran like a 4.4 probably.
But to me, the 40 is the biggest overrated metric.
It's the cone drill. You got to put it together with the cone drill.
Because when you put pads on, when you put a helmet on, and then you put a beast on the other side, and you got to get around them. It don't matter how you are with nobody in front of you. They're straight close.
Agreed.
It's a different game.
All right. So coming from a betting man, all right?
Uh-oh.
Tampa Bay BUCS. You gonna put some heavy bucks on them this year?
I mean, it's my boys, so you always got to support your boys.
All right. Well, I know you're a big betting guy. You want to touch on some plays you might like this year?
I actually took a stab on Green Bay before Rodgers re-signed. Now I took a stab on Green Bay before Adams left, so my stab's probably not looking as good as it was, But Green Bay's number went crazy when everybody assumed Rodgers was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that is probably not looking great right now. So with that being said, you got to look at the Bills, even the Chiefs, being your top 2. Tampa's going to be right there. Tampa at 10-1. Give me Tampa at 10-1 instead of the Chiefs at 7-1.
Is that what they are right now?
I mean, it floats. It's always going to be up and down. When Brady wasn't re-signed, Tampa was 30-1. Now, there's some stories on the internet that people put in some big money on Tampa the day before Brady come back. And apparently I don't got as good a friends as those guys do. But I looked at it as soon as it goes off the market. When stuff happens in the news like that, the books take it down right
Brady
away.
sent that group text out, hey, y'all go get y'all bets in right now and come back.
Yeah, they said there was like 100K, 200K bets at 30-1.
Wow.
The casinos were actually, the sports books were actually trying to say there was like insider trading type of deal, which I'm sure there was. I mean, that's how the world is.
Interesting.
You talking NFC? I think it's Bucks and Rams still. I don't like Green Bay. I don't think Dallas is gonna be anything. It's Bucks and Rams still, and the Rams just got better, man.
The Rams are stacked.
And they got Allen Robinson now. Allen Robinson's never had a quarterback, and he's still under 30.
And
he's never had a quarterback.
Odell's still floating out there.
Yep.
They gonna sign him. They already said they want him back.
Yeah.
Odell.
What did he look good in green and yellow?
Nah, he don't want to play in that cold. His knees definitely gonna blow out.
Yeah.
But how much does the loss of Von Miller hurt those Rams?
Not much.
I mean,
They had that. They had Samson.
they just signed Bobby Wagner. It seems like
I forgot about that one.
Anybody that wants to live in good weather and live out in LA goes. I mean, they got that perk.
Yeah.
Florida team's got no tax. LA's got the life, the luxury. Everybody wants to go to LA. That's that's the Mecca.
LA, Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers not going to get no free agents because they know he don't care about the team.
Mm-mm.
They're going to have to draft guys. So he'll be playing rookies next year.
But how many targets are you going to get in LA? If he's Odell, you got Cup. Cup's, I mean, realistically, he's the MVP last year.
Win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Oh, in the league.
Yes.
Didn't he win it? No,
some guy said that on the show.
You know, in the league.
Who won the
Couple
MVP?
guys agreed
Rodgers?
to it.
Rodgers.
Man,
Rodgers should have.
me personally-
Brady should have been the MVP over Rodgers.
I was about to say that.
I
I think Brady could have got over Rodgers.
Right. The only thing that was different is Brady had picks.
But
you know what? He beat him. He led passing. He led touchdowns. He led all those metrics. I might have had an MVP ticket on Tom Brady, so I'm a little double salty on that because it hurt me physically and financially. So.
He's gonna put up the same numbers this year. That kid Russell Gage they signed is gonna be nice.
Yeah.
That's a big addition.
I was watching him since like the last 8 games of last season, trying to get him off that kid's team last year.
That's why it's a must that Atlanta gets a wide receiver.
He's an LSU guy, so I've been watching Gage for a little minute.
You lose Calvin Ridley, you lose Russell Gage, and now all you have is Kyle Pitts. So get Atlanta a wide receiver, get New Orleans a wide receiver.
Yeah. But I agree, man. It looks like this division, this entire division seems to need a lot of offensive line and maybe a wide receiver or two, maybe a quarterback or two. But that's pretty much how we're going to wrap up this NFC South. I appreciate you guys helping me knock out this division. All right, so as usual, we're going to cross over into basketball, talk about the NBA a little bit. Got the playoffs. It's playoff basketball now, guys.
Baby.
All right. We got a few matchups that we already know in the East and in the West. You got the 3-6 matchup, Milwaukee and Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
We got the 4-5 matchup of Philly and Toronto. We got Boston up against Brooklyn. We got Golden State taking on Denver. We got Dallas going to Utah. Got Memphis taking on them young boys in Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll kick it off with that 3-6 matchup over in the East. Milwaukee and Chicago.
I mean, that's simple. Done. Milwaukee won.
Are they pulling brooms out, though?
They're sweeping.
Yeah.
They're sweeping the floor.
Ooh.
I think Milwaukee is very happy right now. They get to go see Chicago. I think this is a matchup that they match up perfectly with.
If the Bulls get one, it'll be game 1. Because they're going to catch them sleeping.
That's it. It.
Sweet. So Giannis ain't coming to this thing sleeping at all. I think they're going to come hammer on the head and as soon as the game starts.
That's a fact.
Yep.
That's a sweep.
He might posterize somebody the first 30 seconds of the game.
Twice.
It'll probably be Vucevic. You know, that's what we talked about was Chicago's biggest problem was they weren't going to have an interior defense. This has to be the biggest nightmare for Chicago, playing a defensive big team in Milwaukee, right?
Giannis is just going to have a field day. I mean, you put him at the 5 and make Vucevic guard him.
You got playoff Portis. Everybody loves playoff Portis.
Big guys.
I got to take it's like my playoff
and it's
Lenny,
crazy because he's going back to Chicago. Yeah. Chicago let him go.
Yeah.
Yep. He's going to have a little revenge for Chicago, I'm sure.
He's a heartbeat.
That's more fuel to the fire right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, better matchup, I'm sure. And an offensive team in Philly going against a defensive-minded team in Toronto. With no Matisse Thybulle for those away games in Toronto, by the way.
Right.
How we feel about this matchup, guys?
So you lose a little 3-and-D with Matisse. But at the end of the day, man, you have my MVP frontrunner, Joel Embiid. The Toronto Raptors do match up well. They are long, defensive team. It's going to take James Harden to step up and be the James Harden that we all know and maybe love or don't love. But
it's going to be some work.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes down to it, the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, Philly's going to pull away.
Exactly.
Toronto will be in the game the whole time. And then when the money comes on, who's the guy? Van Fleet?
Exactly.
Siakam.
Scotty?
Siakam. That man is not garbage at all.
I'm not saying he's garbage.
He get a bucket anytime. I like Raptors in 7.
It's a title match.
Raptors in 7. Raptors in 7. You
can they go in 7.
Quote me. Raptors in 7.
I like that. Okay.
I got
Raptors in 6, but I like Raptors.
I got Philly in 5, man. Philly in 5.
I'm with Jay. 5 or 6. Philly's got it. Philly's going to pull out.
I got Philly in 6. I think Toronto will give them a fight, but I got Philly.
Joel's got something to prove.
When they put Siakam, that kid Boucher, and they put Achiuwa all on the court at the same time with Scotty and the new boy.
They do play.
They're big, man.
We're talking about Joel Embiid, who, by the way,
they're gonna let him score 50 a game, and they're gonna lock down Harden.
Is the first center since Shaquille O'Neal to get the scoring title. This is the man we're talking about.
Since we're talking about some of Joel's accomplishments, I mean, he's the first Sixer to score 2,000 points since Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's well deserving.
Like Greg said,
being in the conversation.
Joel is coming to play. Man.
Yeah.
He's here to make a statement.
He's got too much on his plate that he's lost. Too many big spots, too many highlights of him losing. If he's a real MVP, he shuts the series down.
Right.
And you're gonna need help.
Philly in 5.
You're gonna need help. Harden's gonna have to
I'll
play.
give him 1. I'll give Toronto 1.
Harden's gonna have to play, man. I'm trying to tell you, he can't do it by himself. That big man cannot do it by himself. He has nobody.
Yeah, I mean, Harden's got to show up.
They traded all their shooters.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris gonna have to play.
Gonna hurt them.
Tobias Harris is gonna have to score 25 a game.
Yeah, I think he's got to be probably one of the X factors as well.
Because Harden's not going to be efficient.
It's a Tyrese Maxey to take another step up, but it's going to come down to like Greg said. In the last 5 minutes of the game, who's going to control the rock? It's going to be Joel Embiid.
Toronto's deep.
See.
All right,
well, are you a Toronto fan or are you a Boston Celtics fan?
Toronto's deep, man.
So you're Boston Celtics taking on the Brooklyn Nets. How you feel about that?
I like us. I like us against everybody in that conference. I seen us beat everybody in that conference.
So what's different on this team versus last year?
Robert Williams.
Who they don't have for the first round.
But we've been playing good since without him.
No, you guys have been playing probably best in the league the last month or two.
Even without him, I think we lost 1 game since he's been out.
On the other side of that fence, I think this is the matchup that Brooklyn didn't want. I don't think they wanted to see Boston.
No, nobody does.
You talk about matching up pretty much down the line. Marcus Smart against Kyrie Irving is going to be an interesting matchup. You're talking about a big body point guard that's going to press up on Kyrie and make him make the plays and wear him out, like you said. Right. And then we talk about the matchup with Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant.
That's one for the ages. That's a good one.
I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that.
It comes down to offense versus defense.
Right.
They don't have defense. We got both. They don't have defense. We got both.
They got KD. I mean, Brooklyn's a better team, top to bottom than last year.
Top to bottom? Than Boston right now, top to bottom?
No, than the team they had last year. Brooklyn this year versus Brooklyn last year. I do.
And there's also the possibility that they get Ben Simmons back in this series as well.
There is.
There's some chatter.
The X factor.
There's some chatter.
What's he going to do?
What does he look like?
I don't think he comes back. I don't think it's good for the team if he comes back.
Right.
I get a flashback of Jameer Nelson coming back in the finals and destroying the chemistry. And Simmons hasn't played all year. So you don't just jump into playoff basketball and even when he played in the playoffs, you didn't want him on the team. Exactly. So why put him out there?
Exactly.
And he can't score for you at all. We know that already.
Yeah. And definitely not going to have him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Those ghosts from last playoffs is going to come back and keep them off. Let them just be done with it. Done with it.
I'll be the bad guy here. You like to usually be the bad guy, but I'll be the bad guy this time. And I'm going to say Brooklyn's going to beat Boston in the first round. I say KD is the best player on that court this series. No Robert Williams. The minute they get past the top of the key, there's no interior defense. I think he's a humongous factor. And I think Brooklyn takes advantage of that and eats this entire series in the paint.
Yeah, I don't think that's being a bad guy. I agree. I agree.
They're going to get to the paint. They're going to get to the paint with no Robert Williams there.
Doesn't matter. Horford is still there. It's still a big body there. You got to get past Brown and these guys. You got to get past Smart. You got to get past Tatum.
Boston's best lineup that they've played all season consists of both Robert Williams and Al Horford. You're missing one of the Twin Towers. You're missing the playoffs.
Defensive rating is still high without him.
Give me Brooklyn.
I got a number for you. 110. If the game's above 110, Brooklyn takes it. If it's played under 110, I'm not saying you can't score, but if you guys play the game you want the Nets under 110. You don't want it to be a shootout.
The Nets got to run with us. We're the 2 seed. They're the 7 seed. They got to run with us.
But to be fair, they didn't have half their team most of the year.
And we have injuries too all year. That's why we started off so bad. And as soon as we got right, they got to play us just like we got to play them.
So I think losing your big man hurts. I think that really hurts you guys. Going in through the playoffs, whether you get through this series or not, that's going to hurt you long term.
All right, well, over in the West Coast, we still don't know exactly who Phoenix is playing, but either way, it's probably going to be Suns in 4. But we do know the Golden State Warriors are taking on the Denver Nuggets. We know Dallas and Utah are going to slug it out. And we also know that Memphis gets to take on them young boys over in Minnesota. Now, but we'll start it off with Golden State taking on Denver. Steph Curry should be back, right? They should have a healthy Golden State roster for the first time since, I think, 3 years ago in the playoffs. How we like Golden State and Denver?
I think that's the X factor. Getting the boys back healthy. Getting Steph back healthy. Clay and Draymond, the band back together. Along with the other pieces that are stepping their game up, and Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. So, to me,
I like the way their first round pick Kuminga's been playing too.
And Kuminga's stepping up, absolutely. So, yeah, for me, it's Golden State, man. Golden State in 6. I'll give Jokic, 2 games.
Michael Porter Jr. coming back this series. He's been doing training.
He's out.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's done. We're not going to see Jamal either. Yeah. I haven't heard any word on him. I think Denver's
Denver needs
just
whole team. They need their whole team.
Yeah, they're too injured. I'd be surprised if they pull out more than a game against Golden State.
I give Jokic, just because he's an MVP front runner, I'll give Jokic 2. Just give him
front runner, but is he the MVP?
No.
I know you mentioned Joel Embiid. I mean, we might as well have the conversation. We keep talking about
but it's not one of those things you could just be like, oh, it's Embiid.
No, not at all.
It's close.
There's no stand. There's no runaway. Nobody's run away.
It's close.
It's definitely, we like anybody else in this conversation?
I know this ain't going to be popular, but Ja's my guy.
It's been popular all year.
I love that guy.
He's been loving Ja.
I think he's changed that franchise. He's gave that whole franchise a different look. Mm-hmm. And it reminds me of the Howard days in Orlando. He's in a small market. Mm-hmm. You don't get the attention. Howard changed Orlando.
Right.
We ain't there anymore, and we probably ain't going to be there anytime soon. But those guys are the franchise changers.
Right.
He's the guy. He's the man. He's the next 5-10 years in the league. He's the guy.
What I like most about Ja is his confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because he not only displays it himself, but he spreads it amongst his team. So even when he's not in the game, they still feel his presence. They still play hard the way the confidence that he brings to that organization, man. You love it from a young talent. Man.
Right.
But that's a great MVP pick. He's got to be up and running, right? He's got to be in the conversation.
I love Ja Morant, man. I love Ja Morant. Like you said, I love what he brings to the organization, to the NBA, the excitement he brings. Right. But he's not the MVP. The definition of an MVP, at least for me, is the most valuable player to that team, which means if you take this player off of this said team, the team that shouldn't be better.
So then why don't we have Giannis up there?
Consistency in numbers, consistent dominance.
If you take Giannis off the Bucks, what are
they? They're not a championship team
at all.
They're not a championship team. They're
6 seed.
Playoff team.
They're a playoff team, but they're not a championship contender. We're not looking at them in the same light as we look at them with Giannis. With Memphis, Ja off the court, Memphis is still beating teams. It's still one of the best teams in the West.
Yeah, they beat some of the best teams in the West.
Right.
Phoenix and Golden State.
I love the argument, Ja most improved or offensive player of the year, whatever, anything else. Right. But MVP, I think you take a Joel Embiid off of Philadelphia.
Right. My point is just the MVP doesn't always go to the MVP. Or how many would Jordan have?
Hey, the MVP.
You got outside votes. You got they're going to spread it around. Embiid's going to get it because last year he should have got it and he didn't. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to give it back-to-back to Jokic. They're going to give it to MVP.
I'm not going to lie. If any guard should get it, if it was a guard to get it, I would give it to Booker before I give it to Morant.
Sure, no doubt.
Record better. Miss Chris Paul a lot.
League. Yeah.
No, he's up there.
He's slept on for sure.
And then, what you guys say? You said most improved. That award is so watered down now. Ja's not most improved. Right. He was great last year.
Yeah,
it needs to be a guy like Jordan Poole, a guy like Robert Williams, a guy like Darius Garland.
For sure. A lower end.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And actually, if you want to ask Isaiah from a couple shows back, he even had Luka Doncic in this conversation. Luka deserves to be in the conversation as well. Absolutely. You take him off of the Mavericks, and as a matter of fact, we may be seeing the Mavericks without him in this first playoff series, right?
Yep.
Looks like Dallas going against the Jazz, possibly no Luka.
Yep.
How do we feel about this series?
No Luka, Jazz in 4. That guy's just, he does everything.
Jazz in 4, even with Luka, I'm still taking the Jazz.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're sleeping on the Rudy Gobert factor and what he's been able to do quietly, like one of the most dominant defensive players in the league. And you add that with Donovan Mitchell. I don't think Dallas has enough. It's Luka and Jalen Brunson. But
they got shooters.
We're in the playoffs now. We're not talking regular season. We're in the playoffs. You guys got to perform. And I think the more veteran team is the Jazz.
When they got 5 shooters on the court, Gobert got to come out that paint. And they're going to have Dinwiddie on the floor at the same time, and they have no one who can guard Dinwiddie.
All right, well, that's actually where I'm going to agree and disagree in this situation. Because when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, yeah, he's right. They spread the ball around. Mm-hmm. They shoot the ball. And they're going to be trading a lot of 3s for 2s against Utah. Problem is, you're not getting a healthy Luka Doncic.
Right.
I can't take Dallas in this series.
Even if he plays, he's not going to be
healthy.
Exactly.
So I got to go with Utah. I'm going to give Dallas and Luka the respect of a couple games, but I got Utah in 6.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
I like that number.
Wait, it's a bad strain? How bad is the strain?
It's a calf strain. It's a calf strain, and he's out indefinitely right now. They're not sure exactly when he's going to be back. But, since we mentioned Memphis and Ja Morant, looks like they're playing against them young boys in Minnesota. That matchup that Big J said Memphis could have some trouble with.
That's a sneaky series.
Karl Anthony Townsend.
Minnesota's on that West Coast, schedule. You don't get a lot of primetime games. You don't get to see them a lot. But when you see them play, they play ball. They're good.
They do.
They're good.
And I think people are just forgetting about the X factor and D'Lo. A lot of people talk so highly on Cat and Anthony Edwards, and I think what's allowed them to play so well towards the end of this season right now has been the great play of D'Angelo Russell. Mm-hmm. So I think Memphis could have a little bit of trouble with this series, but I think I still got Memphis in this one.
It's going to be tight, man. I think the X factor is going to be Patrick Beverley. That Patrick Beverley and Ja Morant back and forth is going to be able to get in his head.
Yeah, he's a pest.
Yeah, he's a pest. He's the last game of the season, he ends up leaving with a technical, getting thrown out the game. So I think the Patrick Beverley just staying on top of Ja and being in front of him and making it hard on him.
Speaking of, did you see Patrick Beverley almost get into a fight to start the game when they had tip-off? It's crazy to me, man.
But that's him. That's Beverley.
And that's what you want.
That's what he does.
Especially on this young roster with young talent. You want that gritty veteran that's going to make it hard on the opposite, player, all-star. And if there was one team that Minnesota could be in out of this West, I called it weeks ago, it was Memphis. Now, Memphis is probably playing better ball than they were playing back then. So I probably might take that bag.
But he eating his words now.
I might eat my own words, yeah.
Even if Beverly takes him out of the game, I mean, you guys just said how good Memphis was without Ja on the floor.
Exactly.
So if you're going top to bottom, they got a better team.
Yep.
It's just a matter of who's ready for the bigger spotlight. Because both of these teams are up and coming. Both these teams don't have the playoff veterans, the experience, the big time. So who's ready for the spotlight?
Agreed.
It's going to come down to the Twin Towers in Memphis being able to make it hard on Karl Anthony Towns, Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that's going to be the deciding factor for Memphis taking the series. I do have Memphis taking the series.
I couldn't agree more. And as a matter of fact, I think that's going to be the exact reason that Memphis takes the series. They're going to make this one tough on Karl Anthony Towns. And I think Memphis sneaks this one away as well. Well, I don't think they sneak it away. I think they win this in 6. All right, gentlemen, well, that's all the time we got for today. I appreciate you helping me wrap up an NFC South division and talk some playoff basketball, man. No Greg, appreciate you joining the show, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Been too long.
Good luck to your BUCS this year. Rudy, good luck to your Panthers in the draft.
Appreciate you, yes, sir.
And Big J, appreciate you holding down that Kobe corner.
Yes, sir.
And as usual, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Check us out at sportjv.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And obviously, if you want to support the show, CASHAPP at $JVSPORTSROOM. And as usual, I got a quote for you guys from legendary Tom Brady.
Here we go.
Sometimes in life, the biggest challenges end up being the best things that happen in your life. Thank you guys for watching.